if they've never been an injured athlete and gone through the experience of all the losses that you are going through when you get injured. And if they don't really know what you're going through, then they aren't going to know how to show up for you. You have to tell them.
Welcome to the Injured Athletes Club podcast, the show that helps athletes cope with sports injuries and bounce back stronger. I'm journalist Cindy Kuzma.
And I'm mental skills coach Carrie Jackson. We're sorry you're here, but we're glad you're with us.
This week, Coach Carrie is once again going to use her expertise in mental performance and injury recovery to answer a question that one of you, our listeners, sent in. But before we get to that, we want to share one other resource with you.
The resource we want to share with you today is actually our book, Rebound. And there's a specific reason why. There's a couple things that I'm going to talk about in this episode that really resonate with the book. One is any injured athlete will tell you it's an absolute emotional roller coaster when you are going through your injury recovery. And not only will you experience a whole breadth of different emotions from the beginning, the onset of your injury through your recovery, but you might experience a bunch of those within 1 hour of your injury recovery. So, one of the things that comes to mind is a specific resource in the book called the Emotion Decoder. So it's a wonderful tool to be able to understand what is label and understand the emotion that you're feeling to move through that process. And then the other thing that we're going to talk about too is your support system and the challenges that can come with that when you're injured. And there's a whole chapter dedicated to this because it's such an important topic. So if you have not picked up a copy of the book yet, or you have someone in your life that's injured that you think would benefit, absolutely head to your favorite place to get your favorite books and pick up a copy of Rebound, Train Your Mind to Bounce Back Stronger from Sports Injuries. You can get it in paperback, it's on Kindle, there's an audio book, in whichever format you enjoy consuming your information. It is definitely worth it.
Excellent. And we also need to let you know that this season of the Injured Athletes Club is brought to you by Lever Movement. The lever system is an innovative way to reduce your body weight and the impact on your joints while exercising on a treadmill. It's perfect for returning to running after an injury or break, or for adding volume or speed without increasing your risk of getting hurt. Also, it's portable and you can set it up in less than 2 minutes, so you can take it to the gym with you. Use code TIAC20, that's TIAC20, as in the Injured Athletes Club, to get 20% off your purchase. Check out Lever today and take your training to the next level. With that, let's get on to this week's question, which comes from a listener we'll call Emmie. Just after recovering from being hit by a truck over the summer and breaking a bunch of bones, I got to start running again, only to slam my ankle into a table. And now I can't even walk. It's possibly just a bone bruise, but the pain is radiating through my entire leg, and I'm so angry this happened to me after I just got better. Everything is just 50,000 times worse. I don't get along with those closest to me. I have so much more conflict with family and friends because nobody understands what I'm going through, and nobody is even that nice. Does anyone else feel like their relationships all turn into shite when they get injured? Emmie, I'm so sorry. Coach Carrie, do you have any advice for Emmie?
I know. Sucks. It does suck. It sucks big time. And I'm so sorry to hear what you're going through. I mean, I can hear the pain and the anguish in your words. And not only does it feel devastating to get injured as soon as you feel like you finally healed from your initial injury, but it feels even more devastating when you feel like your support system isn't showing up for you. You are not alone in feeling like your relationships have turned to shit during your recovery. That's definitely something that I know other people share that feeling. And, many athletes feel like there are people in their life, and sometimes people they thought were good friends, that tend to disappear when they are recovering from an injury. And there are many different reasons why this happens. But to help put things in context, I think it's really worth it to first talk about the emotion of anger. So anger is a natural reaction to have at some point or at multiple points throughout your injury journey. And understanding why you are feeling angry can help you feel less angry. And in order to understand why you are feeling angry, you need to know what's happening underneath the surface. So anger is like a mushroom. Stick with me. I love this analogy so much, and it's really good. Just stay with me for a minute here. So anger is like a mushroom. And if you don't know anything about mushrooms, oh my God, I love them and they're delicious and amazing. But even cooler than that is that they have this root system that is this amazing interconnected web that can sometimes spread out for miles underground. So the mushroom you see above the ground only emerges when the conditions are right, just like anger, right? So anger only emerges and peaks up out of the ground, so to speak, when the conditions are right. And the mushroom is the visible outcome of what is happening underneath, just like anger, right? Anger is the visible outcome of what is happening underneath. So you really have to understand like what's the root system of that anger, right? So anger is like a mushroom sprouting above the ground. It's the part we see. It is bold. It is undeniable. But beneath the surface lies a vast network of roots of emotions like fear, sadness, frustration, or even shame, all feeding and sustaining that anger. To truly understand and address the anger you feel, you have to look below the surface at the tangled system of feelings giving it life. You have to get to the root of your anger in order to understand why you're truly angry. You do this in service of you, in service of your mental and emotional health. So you're not, I'm not asking you to not be angry at someone. I'm not asking you to deny the fact that you have every right to have that emotion. I'm asking you to look what's underneath because you're doing that for yourself, right? You're doing that in service of your own mental and emotional health. So, I start with this because it's helpful to understand where the anger is coming from inside of you before you can address what's happening with your support system. There are many different reasons why it feels like your relationships have gone to shit when you get injured. And sometimes it's us, and sometimes it's them, and sometimes it's a combination of both. There's one piece that I think is really critical is there's a certain degree to which your friends and family can't get it. And I really do think that understanding this and accepting this is important. It's hard and difficult and upsetting, but also really important because, I will say sometimes they're being jerks. Sometimes they're being thoughtless. Sometimes they need to think before they speak, right? Sometimes they're not being kind, but sometimes they simply aren't able to understand what you are actually going through because they have never been through it. And that goes double if they've never been an injured athlete and gone through the experience of all the losses that you are going through when you get injured. And if they don't really know what you're going through, then they aren't going to know how to show up for you. You have to tell them. This is such an important topic for injured athletes that we dedicated an entire chapter to building your support system in our book Rebound because this is such a big deal and there's a lot of layers here. It's important to know that having to tell the people in your life, including the people that are the closest to you, what kind of support you need does not mean that they don't truly care. And additionally, when you go through something challenging, it can let you know which of your friends and family you can rely on in difficult times and which ones you can't, right? So each person in your life has a different set of skills and fulfills different emotional needs. And there might be people that don't have the capacity to be able to support you during the challenging things. And then you have a decision to make, right? Like, is this someone in my life that I get that has other beautiful attributes and I just know where I can rely on them and where I can't, or is there a conversation that needs to happen around this, right? So there's a decision to make at that point. And this is why you need a team of support and not just a support person, right? This is why we need more than one person on our support team. So you're definitely not the only person to feel like relationships have gone to shit. And I could give you a whole list of reasons why it happens, but it doesn't make it feel any better, right? And truly, sometimes they are being neglectful and sometimes they just don't even realize it. And so I really hope some of this helps you as you navigate this part of your journey. I hope that you are healing and back on the path of recovery. And we are absolutely feeling for you and thinking about you during this journey that you're on.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Coach Carrie. And yeah, thanks, Emmie, for sending this question in, and know that we understand. We have been there, and we are just giving you a big virtual and audio hug right now, even if other people in your life are not treating you the way you would like them to. So thank you so much. Thank you, Carrie. Thank you, Emmie. Thank you, Jeremy Nessel, for editing the show as he always does. We are also exceedingly grateful to Lever Movement, our sponsor, for making the show possible. You'll definitely want to click through the show notes to learn more about the Lever system. If you have a question for Coach Carrie about the mental side of injury, relationships, emotions, anything that has to do with psychological recovery from injury, email us at hello@injuredathletesclub.com. Visit our Facebook page or join our Facebook group, which is also called the Injured Athletes Club. And if you send in a question in one of those ways, Coach Carrie just might answer it on an upcoming episode. By the way, we'd love it if you would subscribe to the show if you're getting something out of it. We'd also love if you would share it with an injured athlete in your life who might need this information, these resources. And if you want to rate and review our show, that is also helpful. That helps other injured athletes who maybe you don't know yet find you and find us. And remember that between episodes, you can join that Facebook group I mentioned, the Injured Athletes Club, which is full of supportive people who are also going to be there for you. They might not be the people in your house or in your neighborhood, but they are definitely the people who understand what it's like to, as Coach Carrie put it, suffer so many losses at once when you're an injured athlete. So go to Facebook and search for Injured Athletes Club, or go to our website, injuredathletesclub.com, and you'll get links to everything we've talked about on the show today. Thanks so much, and we'll see you there.